Hi, I'm Martin from More Strategic. Welcome to our introduction to events benchmarking. Now, I'm a bit of an events junkie. Give me a city to surf, a colour run, a valley stampede, and I'm in there in the mud and getting covered in paint and having great fun. But I'm also a bit of a data nerd. And so we're trying to bring together these two passions to create the events benchmarking. Data plus the enthusiasm we have for events. And if you're like me, you've heard for years the complaints from event managers about the inability to compare and analyse our events. I hear the cries from people saying, you know, my event income is down, is that normal? Or I raised $272 per head, is that good? Or my boss thinks our cost income ratio is too high, is it? Well, we've never really been able to compare event data in any way to make these to answer these questions until now. So what we're going to be able to do is look at three types of data. The first data we want to look at is your events data for your fundraisers. So all those lovely people who host morning teas or girls' night ins or sell daffodils or bandanas for you, we want to get all of their data so we can look at their retention rate, how many of them carry on doing it from year to year, their average raised, but probably more importantly the distribution of the income they raise. So typically we find that 3% of your hosts will raise about 30% of your money, and you need to know who those 3% are. We also want to be able to look at your growth over time and see what's driving the growth. Is it more participants or is it greater value? And is that different from what's been driving growth for other charities? The second set of data we want to look at is your peer-to-peer data. And this is even more exciting because as well as the things that we'll look at for your fundraisers, there's even more rich data with the peer-to-peer information. Because we can take an extract from your Go Fundraiser Everyday Hero download, and we can look at then how many donations does every fundraiser get? What's the price point? What's the sort of social norm that people choose in terms of how much they actually give to you? What difference does it make whether you charge for the event? And what's the impact of people giving to themselves? So we recently did a very interesting piece of analysis to look at those who gave donations to their own page to see what the uplift was on their total fundraising. And the third area of data we want to look at is profitability, because although events are very exciting, they must ultimately be making profit. Too often you hear, it was a great event, people had a lovely time, it was really good for the brand, but it didn't reach the target. So we want to look at the profitability. So we're going to collect data from your events on the income, expenditure and salaries by type of event, so we can compare that to other charities. So you can work out what your cost income ratio is and whether it is actually better or worse than other charities running similar events, what your growth rate is in terms of gross income and net, and what your return for every dollar you spend on staff is, and whether you're putting the staff into the right areas. So lots and lots of really useful information. We've created a bit of a breakdown to categorise events into type, because there are so many and so many different elements to events, which will give us some structure to undertaking the analysis. And once we've got all your data in, and I've had a complete meltdown of pivot tables and immersed myself totally in it, we're going to do a couple of things. We'll be giving a general sort of market report so people can actually see the trends by type of event. We'll be bringing those people together who've taken part to share some insights, because actually by working together we might be able to come up with ideas about how we improve the events category, not just our own individual event for our charity. And then those who are taking part as Golden Nugget supporters, those who are paying to take part, will also give you a detailed report comparing your charity to the others and some insights about what you might be able to do to improve your events portfolio. So if you're excited by this, like I am, which is a bit alarming, then please do get in touch with myself or Julie, and we'll give you a complete guide to what data we need to collect, and we'll give you the templates to actually supply that information. You get that over to me by the 11th of March. My head explodes and it's pivot table galore, and then we produce all the results. And this is going to give us the knowledge base so that events can take their rightful place as an essential, sustainable and profitable part of the events portfolio, and be taken seriously and get more resources and make sure we're putting our money into the right places. So if you'd like to be part of it, please get in touch with myself or Julie, and I look forward to getting my hands on all your lovely data. Thanks very much. Goodbye.